Hello everyone, Russ of Aquarimax here. I just wanted to give you a quick look at my blue star endlers. The colony has been growing quite a bit here, as maybe you can see. I started out with about 8 or 10, including fry, and now I have quite a few larger, mostly adult fish, and then I think about 25 to 30 fry at this point. Pretty excited about that. Some of them were just born today. These here in the shot, not that one in the front, but hi little Bob. These here are just newly born as of today, and then most of the other fry in here are a couple of weeks old. I have two of them that are maturing into males. This one right here, kind of the middle of the screen, is just, well, actually there's two there. Miley, oh, let me pull this up. And it says, Miley Morkey. Hi, I think this is the first time I've seen you in a live stream, so welcome. And welcome back, little Bob, our moderator, who has faithfully assisted us in many a live stream. It's been a long time since I've done a live stream, so I apologize for that. Heck off. Oh, nice gecko picture. Hi, welcome. So, really, this planted tank, I just kind of threw it together in preparation for my endlers, or actually I had to kind of fix it because I had some plants die off suddenly. Let's see. Little Bob says, endlers are beautiful little guys, but I put some in with my guppies and they kept nibbling and attacking the pregnant females. You know, I have noticed that endlers are a little more aggressive than guppies, at least so far. My males are after each other quite often now. They don't really hurt each other, but they will charge at each other and kind of peck at each other fairly often, so that's kind of unusual. It's kind of sad they were going after your guppies. I know they do hybridize with guppies successfully, but apparently it doesn't always end well. Little Bob says, one endler was friendly and the neons accepted it as one of their own. Huh, that's funny. Oh, Schunmeister, good evening, Russ. Good evening to you, too. Can everyone see that awful scratch? That was a terrible thing to happen to the aquarium there. I inadvertently caught the egg of a nerite under the magnetic scraper and didn't realize until it was too late. I'm so upset about that. But it would probably cost less to go get a 20-gallon aquarium on sale at Petco than it would be to fix it. Jason Gray says, Blue Star Endlers are my favorite kind. Where did you get yours? I got mine from L.R. Brett's Aquatics, and that was about 6 or 7 weeks ago. He had a nice discount going on at the time. Oh, I missed it. There was a male who was doing his sigmoid courtship display. I love that. When they do that, it's really cool looking. Yeah, Schunmeister, really bad scratch. And I am pretty upset about it, and what I'm going to do, I think, is just switch it out. I'm going to switch this tank out because it'll be cheaper, like I said, probably just to do that. But for the time being, I'm putting up with it, which is kind of hard. I feel a little frustrated every time I look at it. But I try to pay attention to what else is going on in the tank, and that makes me feel better. There's a male displaying. Oh, Little Bob says, I like the stream, by the way. Good. Miley Morkey said, these fish remind me of hatchet fish. Huh. I rather like hatchet fish. I've never kept any. In what way do they remind you of them? I'm curious. Heckoff says, I know this isn't about endlers, but I have a 50-gallon bioactive tropical terrarium. Any suggestions of what to put in it? Oh, you're welcome to bring up things that aren't related to endlers. This is just kind of our beginning, you know, our starting off points. 50-gallon bioactive tropical terrarium. You could do a lot of cool things with that, for sure. Is it a 50-gallon low boy, or is it a more typical footprint for a 50-gallon? And Jason Gray says, oh, yours are super top quality, and L.R. Brett's has some really nice stuff. Love his channel, too. Yeah, he does have great stuff, and I like his channel, too, a lot. Let's see. Well, once you tell me about the size of your 50-gallon tank, or the footprint, maybe I can have some good suggestions. Little Bob says, can I see the bearded god? Well, I don't know about that, but maybe you can see me. The lights in the room lights are off right now, so I don't know if this is going to work, but you can at least see me for a minute there. Whoa, that looks really weird with the light from the aquarium. Sorry about that. It's really strange. Okay. And Schoenmeister said the scratch won't cause any problems though, right? No, not any problems as far as the fish or the plants are concerned. But it's really frustrating to look at. It just annoys me to no end every time I see it. Miley Morky said mostly the bigger front and small tail. Oh, yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. Do you keep any hatchet fish? That's one I've thought about keeping, but I've never actually done it. Let's see. I do have some assassin snails in here, by the way. I don't know if I'll see any right now, but I decided to put a few in here because I had quite a few snails that came in on some plants that I didn't properly screen first. And, you know, I've just admitted I do that on occasion, and it happened. So I had a lot of snails, and I didn't necessarily need all of them. Little Bob says, speaking of assassin, Schoenmeister, nice looking plants in that tank, Russ. Thank you. I went to a local pet store I used to go to more often when I lived further south, and I happened to be down in the area and dropped by because I really needed some plants and picked a few up, what they had, and some of them weren't in great shape, but they look like they're starting to perk back up. You can see here this rotala is producing some little branches down at the bottom, and then here the kabomba's doing all right. It's starting to send out some new growth. And the guppy grass, which is really interesting, that kind of, I had a big die off of it, which I haven't had before. I've grown guppy grass before without any problems at all. It was like maintenance free, and then it kind of crashed on me, but some of it is doing better. And let's see. Jason Gray says, you're going to have so many of those in like a week. Well, I had to get rid of my Endlers, could not keep up with the breeding, but I miss them. They are very underrated in my opinion. Yeah, you know, I did the same thing with wild-type guppies. I kept wild-type guppies for almost 3 decades and really loved them, but they just kept breeding, and I just kind of got sick of that and having to deal with the population, and so I stopped keeping them, but I couldn't stay away, so now I'm doing Endlers, very similar species, not quite the same thing, but... And Little Bob says, my algae shrimp did a leap of faith off a tall plant and landed face first on a spiky hard bush below. Ooh, is it okay? Andrew Chen says, hi. Hi, Andrew. Welcome. And Sean Meister asks, is the big one in the middle some kind of Anubias? Yes, it is. It was actually sold to me, I think, as Anubias nana petite a long, long time ago. The ancestors of this plant, like 10, 12, no, probably closer to 13 years ago. And I've had some growing in my tanks ever since. This one is kind of recovering because I had it in some really hard water, in, you know, with my cichlids, and it wasn't doing all that well. And now it's in here, and you can see it's flowering. There's a flower, and you can see the leaves are also kind of discolored and have some holes in it, which is indicative of nutrient deficiency. And but it is recovering. I think it's starting to look better. Jacopo Bartholomew says, nice tank, thank you. And Andrew says he's in cairns in Australia, and there are bugs and reptiles everywhere. Awesome. He hears cicadas and weaver ants, and he's finding massive skinks. Oh, I would love to go find some blue-tongued skinks with you. That would be awesome. And Schoenmeister said, yeah, I did see the flower. How cool. Oh, here, yeah, my sounds are crickets. Little Bob says, I got a little Cory, and it turns out he needs different food, and we ordered some. And it was supposed to come today, but still hasn't. I worry about the little guy. He's slowing down a teeny bit. So a Corydoras catfish? And he's not eating what you had for him? Oh, there's some baby Endlers kicking around there at the bottom. Now where is... Okay, right there, that male that just chased the female, he is just developing his color. He hasn't quite got his full color yet. But there's another male that is just barely starting to color up. Here he is, just barely starting. One thing I should mention, everyone, is that this video is in lieu of my normal Friday video, because tomorrow I won't be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to release a video tomorrow, so I'm doing this instead. So you're still getting the same average per week, but you get one early. Okay. Little Bob said the Endler started going at him, and we named the little guy Obama because he's black and white. Oh no. So that's your Cory? Do you know what species it is? Oh, I wish I could focus on these guys better. They're really hard to focus on. Very hard to focus on because they're always everywhere and they're at different depths of the tank, and I'm afraid my iPad has a hard time with that. So I wish you could get a better idea of how brilliantly colored they are. You must be seeing a lot of interesting things, Andrew. He said he sees orb spiders out there. Yeah, garden orb spiders. Those can be quite impressive, actually. Some pretty big ones I've seen. Sean Meister says, beautiful endlers, by the way, Russ. Thank you. I think this is my favorite type of endler. When I saw these, I just had to try them. And Little Bob says, no, he doesn't know the species, but the food should come tomorrow. He's not in too bad of a condition, but still. Yeah, I hope he does okay. I mean, usually aquarium fish can last a lot longer than people would think without eating much, but hopefully it works for you. Um, yeah. So Jacopo Bartholomew says, are you making any new projects? Um, well, yes. Yes, I am. This is sort of my newest project, but I'm working on some other ones too. I'm hoping to actually redo my frog vivarium really soon. And I'm going to be doing some egg laying tubes for my morning geckos really soon as well. So we'll see how that goes. And Sean Meister says, you said they were blue endlers. Yes, these are called technically blue star endlers. And the original collection site was Campoma in Venezuela. But the ones I have are Class P, which means although they have every appearance of being descended directly in a pure line, there's no documentation that says they were. So they may well be, but they may well be pure, but they're not Class N, which is the highest grade of endler, so to speak, because it means they can be documented like a pedigree back to the collection site, and I can't do that with these. But they are blue star endlers. And Beetlebub says, biggest spider in Ireland is the size of your hand. That is a big spider. What is that? Is it an orb weaver? Miley Morkey says, I taught my teacher that snails can reproduce asexually, thanks to you, Russ. Huh. Oh, I'm glad to have been of help. Yeah, some snails could definitely do that, like the Malaysian trumpet snails, like this one right here, or the shell now of this one right in the middle of the screen. I mean, there's also some ram's horns in there too, but yeah, that's one species that can reproduce asexually. So Andrew Chen says there's a massive mesh house at least 10 meters by 10 meters big and 20 meters high, and it's all for butterflies. Ooh, I would love to go to a butterfly house. I have never been to one before, but that would be fun. And he's saying, oh, Lidl Bob says about his Cory, he doesn't eat the flakes the guppies, loaches, and other things eat, but I do see him scraping at the stones a bit. Might be getting algae or microorganisms. I'm not sure what they eat, but I know the babies eat microorganisms from plants. Yeah, and things that live in the detritus and the mulm and so on at the bottom. With dwarf cories, I've found that they really like microworms, and since they sink, I would use a tube or like a turkey baster or something like that to put them in on a like a small ceramic plate at the bottom of the aquarium, and my little dwarf cories would go for that. So I'm not sure yours is a dwarf cory, but it worked for me with the dwarf cories. Sean Meister says, how is the pill bug breeding project progressing, Russ? Really well. Not much since the last video, but at the same time, it's been doing really, really well. They seem to be growing, and I see more and more of the ones with yellow, and as they grow, they seem to be getting more yellow rather than less. So I'm excited about that. Oh, Little Bob says the spider's a huntsman spider. I didn't know they had those in Ireland. We used to have those in Hawaii when I lived there. They called them cane spiders, but they were huntsman spiders. Um, and yeah, they were huge. And Andrew says there are mini crickets in the grass and sorts everywhere. Little Bob says it's about an inch and a bit long, but I don't know if it's full grown yet. Oh, okay. His Corridor's cat. Miley Morky says, I've seen an aquarium. Sorry, I'm losing the chat here. Let me pull it back up. I've seen an aquarium with a fish that has some infected eyes, and some fish having fun upside down. No joke. Oh no. Yeah, yeah. I've seen aquariums of that sort too. Luckily, they're not as common as they used to be in pet stores, but you still see that once in a while. Let's see if we can get the fish doing the courtship dance. There he is. I wish you could see him more closely, but at least you can see some glints of his color as he does his little courtship display. Kind of fun. Oh, well, it looks like I am going to need to go. I hear the dinner bell ringing, literally. I just heard it. So I have to depart now, but thanks for joining, everyone. And I hope to be back doing live streams pretty soon. And once again, thanks for joining Aquarimax, and have a great day.